can I very much support his point about resorting the Foreign Office? The Foreign Secretary may agree with me on this point. The point is that the budget cuts that started under our government and have been remorselessly pursued under his government, in terms of the Foreign Office budget, for a lot of other Whitehall departments, it's not even petty cash. But the cuts have been disastrous in terms of affecting the Foreign Office's capabilities.
Thank the Right Honourable Member very much. Of course, as he knows very well, this is not simply a question of resources. It's also a question of the priority we put on policy analysis and challenge. It's the people we promote. It's the people we hold accountable when they fail. It's about a seriousness within the institution to get to grips with these issues. So, to move towards a conclusion, we all understand roughly what a solution to ISIL in Iraq would look like, in theory. A regional solution, which people have talked about. A political solution on the ground, using the Sunni tribes against ISIL itself. But these are not things which can be resolved here on a whiteboard. They're things which entirely depend on being on the ground. The question of exactly what Qatar's role in this is and how you can shift their position. The question of what you can get from Saudi Arabia. The question of how you deal with the fact that foreign fighters are coming out of Turkey and oil is going back into Turkey. Those elements of the regional solution are not theory, they're practice. They're practice of defense attaches and diplomats on the ground working day in, day out. The question of how you use the Sunni tribes against ISIL. Again, this is no theory, this is this Sunni tribal sheikh, that Sunni tribal sheikh, this weapon, that money, this long-term strategy. The question of what the Iraqi government is isn't generic statements about legitimacy or inclusiveness. It is the question of what is the role of Ibrahim Jafri in this government, and are any of these Sunnis who are currently standing for the Iraqi government actually credible? And the questions in the Ukraine are the same kinds of questions. We can create the theoretical framework, but in the end, we need some moral principles behind this. What do we make of this man, Putin? These can be only answered by looking at our own values. What kind of moral obligation do we feel we have to the Ukrainian people? What kind of obligation do we feel we have to the international order or the international system? How much risk are we prepared to take? How many sacrifices are we really prepared to make to confront Putin over Ukraine? Unless we rediscover the ability to focus on what we can do and what we ought to do, then this foreign policy, which should be a theatre of heroism, will instead be a narrow stage for impotence, self-flattery, and oblivion. Yeah.